first realized I had a problem after I realized I was spending so much money a day on it, in excess of $300 a day. And I realized that I first had a problem actually a lot earlier than that, because what happened was one time I was at the movie theaters, and this is probably 2 weeks into me ever taking heroin, and I was only taking it every 3 days. But I started feeling really, really sick when I was watching the movie. And after the movie was done, I was like, I'm just gonna sniff a line of heroin, and it made me feel 100% better. All my energy was back. And at that point, I realized, okay, this thing has me hooked. Like, I've never had an addictive personality before, and I've tried other drugs before, but this thing has a hold of me now. And now I have to do heroin in order to feel good.
Oh, I've been in about 4 or 5 different detoxes. It's horrible. Crawling out of your skin. Well, personally, I was crawling out of my skin, hot and cold. Mentally, it just completely takes a mental toll on. It took a mental toll on me. It takes a lot to get through it, and it's just like it doesn't get easier. It kind of just gets harder every time.
Andrew had tried to go through several rehab programs, and that's one thing I want people to realize too, that heroin is a tough drug to rehab from. The statistics of people successfully rehabbing off heroin are, abysmal at best. The insanity of, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result wasn't working for him. So he decided to request to be transferred to an out-of-town treatment facility where he really could get a fresh start and be with different people in a different setting, and maybe not have some of those other triggers that would cause him to relapse again, until he was strong enough to be around those triggers and be able to say no.
It's basically like the flu times like a million. When you first start going into withdrawal, I call it the hollow feeling. Your body begins to yearn for heroin, and it's almost like it's reaching out through your skin, trying to find it, and you feel empty, and then you start to get clammy, and then your eyes will water, and your nose will run, and you'll sneeze, and then you start to get the stomach cramps, and that leads to nausea, and then the cold and the hot sweats, and then what I believe is the worst is the restless leg syndrome or akathisia, which will keep you up all night. And one of the biggest relapse factors in addicts is insomnia. So basically, when you're trying to get clean and you're detoxing and you can't sleep, you think the only thing that's going to make me sleep is using, and you want to sleep so bad that seems like a good option.
I got onto a Suboxone program. Suboxone is a medication that it has 2 parts. It, number 1, eliminates the effects of opiates on your brain. The key chemical makeup in that end of it is naloxone. Naloxone blocks the effects of opiates on the brain. Buprenorphine is the other one, and that actually satisfies the opioid receptors in your brain and causes you to not have any cravings for opiates or for heroin, for the drug. And that has actually helped me tremendously. I also do go to meetings. I go to treatments, things like that, different groups around Erie that are essentially meetings, but more organized, more one-on-one.
I don't think anybody wants to be on them, at least not when it comes to heroin. I think when he was going to raves and things like that, he didn't want to be on drugs or have fun and all that, but I think when it came down to that drug, heroin, that he just absolutely did not want to be on it. I don't think anybody does. And I know a couple other kids that they did heroin for the first time, and they the first thing that my buddy did, he went right to rehab. Very first thing. He just like, and I'm so glad he did, because that's the first thing once you do it once, I've just always heard that you're dead or dying, or you either die, go to jail, or have a very small chance of getting out.